What is going on, guys? It is Parker here today, and in today's video we're going to be looking at another $100 budget banger. Now, as most of you know, soon I'm going to make a video comparing what I think are the top $100 subs and then picking out which one I like the best and why. So I've got two more subs to review before we can make that video. So this one is, of course, the NVX VSW 12 V2. So of course, by NVX, we know it's going to be some pretty good quality. So super excited to get into this. Let's get into it. Alright guys, let's get right into it. Of course, this is the NVX VSW 12 V2. So let's take a quick look at the box. Here it says 400 to 600 watts RMS. The sensitivity is 90 dB. The frequency response is 20 to 200 hertz. So that is awesome. That means this thing will get really low. For a $100 sub, guys, that is awesome. Most of your frequency responses are not going to be that low, but as I've said in some other videos, NVX is all about just making a really good quality subwoofer that sounds really, really good. Maybe not going to get the loudest or be the most robust, but definitely going to give you some of the best quality music. So we have a blended foam surround, 2.5 high temperature aluminum voice coil, 100 ounce motor. The cutout diameter is 11.12 inches and the mounting depth is 5.95 inches. And it does come with a 1-year manufacturer warranty. So let's get right into it. We got a NVX decal, very awesome. We'll definitely be putting that on the car. And then we have their user manual. Of course, we just went through all the important stuff that y'all want to see on the box. And then we'll open this up. Get this sub out of here. Alright guys, let's get a little bit closer look up at this thing. Sorry we're getting some shadows, sun's over on that side. But to start out with, looks like we have a plastic cap over the top of this. But of course the cone itself is paper underneath. We have a nice, just regular roll surround. It is not stitched on at all, it's just glued. But I don't really see that being a problem at all. I've never ever seen one of these that was just glued rip off. And then we have, of course, we have a nice gasket around the side. We do have a stamped steel basket. And then, of course, our paper cone. Now, I will say, having the plastic on top makes this cone stupid stiff. So we're not going to have to worry about it flexing or anything like that. And, of course, there's a dual 2-ohm voice coil. Now, these are mounted on here really nice and securely, so I like that. And they do seem to be pretty high quality terminals. They're not wiggling or feel cheap or any of that. And then the tinsel leads are sewn into the spider, so really nice to see that there. And then they have like white glue where the spider and the voice coil and cone all meets up. Normally you'd see black glue, so just something a little bit different there. And then down here we have our nice little 100 ounce motor, which just seems to be really pretty standard for these subs in this $100 range. I think I have maybe one or so that's got a bigger motor, but we do have some nice center venting right here, plenty of room for venting, and there's a little grill back there to keep debris from getting up in there. And it's very nicely painted and has a nice boot on it. Now, one more thing to mention up top, this plastic cover does kind of like to scratch pretty easily, so just something to notice. Again, doesn't hurt performance, but it does seem to scratch pretty easily. Let's get a little closer look up at it here, just so y'all can see. These terminals are awesome. Everything seems to be built very well. I don't see any building errors or blemishes. So yeah guys, overall, it looks pretty nice. Well, that really covers everything on the sub, guys. I think that means it's time to get it in a box. We're going to play a few songs, see how it sounds, and then of course we're going to do an SPL test and then a RMS power test with the AMM1 that I have hooked up. So let's get right into it, guys. Alright guys, this is the box we're going to be putting this in. This is a Skar Box, and it is about 2 cubic feet, and it is tuned to 36 hertz. So, it does seem to sound really, really good with the other subs I have tested in it. Now for this sub, this is a dual 2 ohm sub, so of course each voice coil is 2 ohms, so if we were to wire them in parallel, that would drop us down to 1 ohm, and then if we were to run it in series, that would rise us up to 4 ohms. Now, the reason you need to know that is maybe your amp is only 2 ohm or 4 ohm stable, then you really shouldn't run it down to 1 ohm because you could risk damaging your amp. So what you would do there is you'd want to run it in series and raise it up to 4 ohms to be safer on your amp. Now, in my case, my amp is 1 ohm stable, but it is so big that there's no really point for me to run it at 1 ohm. It will give plenty of power at 4 ohms, so that is what we are going to be running it to. We're going to go from one of the positives to the other negative with a jumper wire, and then we're just going to have one positive and one negative, of course, going to the terminals on the box, which then goes to the amp. Alright guys, we got that hooked up, ready to go. Let's start out playing some songs just so we can kind of hear how it sounds. Alright guys, we have the meter in the kick just like always. And we have the AMM1 hooked up and ready to go. And we have the sub facing the back, just like always as well. This box likes to peak about 45 to 47 hertz. So we're gonna start right in there and see what it does. To start out with, we have the volume kind of lower. We like to start there and then kind of work our way up just so we don't unload the sub. We're gonna start with 45 hertz. Okay, so there was 134, and that was 285 watts. We have it turned up some more. Let's see what it does. All right, we got 139.3, and that was 1600 watts. All right, we got it turned up a little bit. Let's see what it does. So that was only 138.2. And this time, we are at 2,282 watts. Now I can hear the sub maxing out there. And I don't really want to completely max it out because we still have another test to do. So let's try 47 hertz and see if that makes any difference. All right, we have it going, and 47 hertz. That was only a 137.8, and that was 2,053 watts. So we are not quite getting that 140 dB. So we're gonna have to sub cool off for a few minutes and then give it another try. All right, let it cool off for a minute. We're gonna try it at the same volume as the last one and just see what it does. Alright, so letting it cool off definitely helped. We got 139.5 at 1800 watts. We're going to turn it up one click and see just what it does from there. Would love to break 140. Nope, 139.7. Alright, let it cool off for a sec. I'm going to turn it up another click and just see if maybe we can get louder. And there it is, guys. 140. That was at 2,044 watts. Alright, guys, well, we made it to 140. That was my goal. Now, the sub was maxing out pretty bad, so I don't want to push it anymore. Just don't really want to mess up the sub since we are not done testing with it. Now, that being said, I know I've got some of my $100 subs to do a little bit better, but again, this is really geared more towards quality of sound. Therefore, it's a softer sub, and it's just not going to be able to get as loud as some other, maybe stiffer subs. So, something to note there, guys. This is more about sounding clean. Anyway, let's do the RMS test on a song and see how that goes. Okay, so in doing those high power tests, something in there came undone. It still goes fine, straight up and down, and it's still reading the correct ohms, so we didn't blow it. But you'll hear when I play it for this RMS test, it doesn't sound all that great, so something came a little disconnected, or a little out of line, or something. If we push straight down, it's fine. If you go to the side. Anyway, you'll hear it. Don't know if that will have a negative effect on this RMS test or not, but we will find out. Now, of course, this is rated, it said between 450 to 6. I'm going to try to keep it as close to 450 as possible, but it might go a teeny bit above there. Let's get to it. Well, guys, that song is 3 minutes and 33 seconds, and it made it through the whole thing, even with it being a little misaligned or something, and you could hear it smacking. It still made it all the way through. I did start to smell it at the end, but didn't have any issues, and it just kept on going. So I'm going to say the RMS power, on a musical standpoint at least, is approved by me. Alright guys, so let's get it out of the box and take a look at it and see if there's any damage or anything to it like that. Let's get a little look at this. All the glue looks good, and all the tinsel leads look good, but what it looks like happened, don't know if that'll focus, but the spider just came attached from the basket. So obviously maybe not enough glue on there. That being said, I was pushing way too much power to it, so not surprised at all. Alright guys, well that was my review of the NVX VSW 12 V2. I hope you enjoyed that. So my overall opinion of it is that it's a really great sounding sub. The quality was awesome. If you want a lower powered sub that's really just going to sound really good, especially if you're watching movies in your car or just want really more quality of bass, and you only got $100, this might be what you want to go with. Now, if you're wanting something that's going to get really loud or do some more SPL, probably going to want to go with something a little bit more robust. But overall, was very pleased with this. I definitely liked it a lot. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, and stay tuned for the full $100 sub showdown video that's going to be coming up here soon. Alright guys, peace out.